Here we will see types of ADO.NET architecture. ADO.NET is a Microsoft data access technology that provides communication between relational and non-relational XML and application data through a common set of components. ADO.NET provides a rich set of components for creating distributed and data sharing applications. ADO.NET supports a variety of development needs, including the creation of front-end database clients and middle-tier business objects used by the applications, tools, languages, or internet browsers. Applications use the ADO.NET to connect these data sources, retrieve and manage data. With this way, this technology serves as a bridge between the database and the application front-end. It is the most direct method of accessing data within the .NET framework. ADO.NET provides an object-oriented view of database, encapsulating many of the database properties and the relationships within the ADO.NET objects. The developers need to worry about how the interaction is taking place and how data is being fetched from the database. The architecture supported by the ADO.NET for communicating with data sources is categorized into two models: connected oriented architecture and disconnected oriented architecture. Depending on the functionality or business requirement, you can either use connection oriented or disconnection oriented. Using both architectures in a single .NET application can also be possible to allow communication with different data sources. First, we will see connected architecture. The architecture of ADO.NET, in which connection must be open to access the data retrieved from the database, is called connected architecture. With this, your application establishes an instantaneous and non-stop connection to the database for operations. It is like a telephone call where you stay online for complete communication. When you operate the connected model, you fetch the data from the database, work with it, and immediately return any changes. While this guarantees the actual time data, it can use extra sources and won't be appropriate for all techniques. Next is disconnected architecture. The architecture of the ADO.NET that allows user to access the data of the database even when connection to the database is closed is called disconnected architecture. In this disconnected model, your application connects to the database, retrieves the information and then disconnects. It is like analyzing a book that you take from the library to home to read, makes notes or highlights it, and when you are finished, you came back to the library to return the book. Similarly, within the disconnected model, you work with the data offline, making modifications as needed, after which you reconnect to the database to apply those adjustments. This model is efficient for handling data independently and reducing continuous connection overhead. Difference between connected and disconnected architectures are: with connected architecture, the connection maintains a continuous connection to the database. And with disconnected architecture, connection is maintained and the data is retrieved from a data structure such as dataset. Connected architecture is simpler implementation compared to disconnected data and increases the performance of smaller applications. Disconnected architecture is quite complex in comparison to the connected data. Connected architecture reduces the application scalability because it requires continuous connection to the database. Disconnected architecture increases the application scalability because it does not require continuous connection to the database. Connected architecture is generally used for smaller applications where complex data analysis is not required, and disconnected architecture is used for multi-layer applications where complex data analysis is required.